The power that they're getting will not increase the options to succeed or to heal, will increase exposure to who they are, magnifies the discipline they might not have. It could create ego and boost the ego. It can magnify in wounds and pain. And if your character is weak, the power that you're seeking will not protect you. It will expose you in front of everyone, including yourself. That's the most dangerous part. So the same power that you pray for sometimes can become the very thing that destroys your peace, corrupts your judgment, damages your relationships, and ruins the life that you work so hard to build. Today, we're going to talk about that power, and if you stay with us, you will learn from us and from our experience how to maximize this power, how to have less pain, how to use this power to amplify who you want to be. Why people want so much power, Sandra? Why that matters?
Because ego has a very distorted image of reality. Good ego is not good at any kind of reference. You can dress up for self-image and self-confidence, which is very different from ego. Ego is the exact opposite of everything that you can do to self grow, self create, self image, and to change your identity. Ego is the ultimate cage of slavery for your comfort zone. When you attempt something to get out of the comfort zone, and you might have a small slip or a little fail, it's the ego that's gonna come and say, "You're so stupid. Why did you do that?" The more we talk ourselves in a negative way, which is induced by the ego, the more we will identify with that identity. Identity is who we think we are, or who we grew up with thinking we are, right? And that doesn't necessarily mean it's true. For example, if I am an anxious person and I tell myself I am an anxious person, I have so much anxiety, I woke up with anxiety. At this moment, Miguel, I'm very anxious. If I don't do if I don't do this, I will get crazy anxious. Before I go to sleep, I have to take something because I'm anxious. What's the identity? Anxiety.
Anxiety and fear will take over. You will be somebody with a lot of power of self destruction. How can one use that power that is within and change their life and change the outcomes?
It is very important that we have a person that walks with us through the path. A coach, a therapist, a person that's knowledgeable. Because sometimes the process is very complicated. My therapist used to say the if then. That if then is a very powerful exercise because that's a way to replace the power of words. The brain won't know if you're lying or if it's the truth. If you wake up saying, I had nightmares and I slept really bad, I slept horrible, I got the worst nightmare, it'll make you more anxious. But if I wake up, maybe I'm not gonna lie to myself and say, oh, it's perfect. Why don't you sit and be grateful? If you slept horrible, be grateful because you have a bed. Be grateful because you woke up today. Be grateful because you have a job. That will automatically start changing the physiology of the thought. But you have to have discipline. Even to do that, you have to have the discipline of waking up and not scrolling. Because if you wake up and you're still half asleep and you're still like with eyes closed and you look at the phone, it's like, it's aggressive from that moment, the bright light. And then you start connecting to all of the crazy. Oh my God. That's a way to prolong the problem.
It is something that I don't want to go unnoticed. It is how you can inflict pain. How can you inflict this pain, this unnecessary pain, and not taking care of yourself? Yes, we understand that growth is painful and is a necessary pain. Growth is something that demands separation. We need to leave behind our old habits, our old excuses, our old emotional patterns, our old environments. That old version of you, the once felt safe, and that is so important that people will listen to what you were saying, because it's not weakness and it's not solved with power. It's solved with identity and discipline. Everybody wants the next level. I don't know anybody that wakes up and says, I want to be a failure today. But I don't think a lot of people are ready for that pain and leaving the whole man behind. How can one make terms with that decision?
First, we have to become aware that we're self inflicting pain. So, we had already talked about that, which is awareness. Aware. I become aware because we know that we are doing something that goes against our nature, right? So the most important is awareness. The second is taming. You have to sit with the discomfort. You have to work towards taking a different path. You have to learn to cancel instant emotional gratification or any kind of gratification like an addiction. And number three is execution. When we realize that something is not working for us, when we realize that we have a loss. Losses can come in very different ways. Grief, loss, emotional pain, decisions that didn't go the way we wanted to go do not mean the end of a lifetime. It means the end of a process, at the end of a stage. And all of us need to be allowed to grieve with grace. A successful day starts the night before, right? So you have to have the discipline to go to bed early, to have good habits, to not have a huge dinner that will interfere with your digestion and your capacity to sleep and rest. Because let's remember something, sleep is the 90% of the functionality of your results. So, a good morning and to get organized during the day starts the night before. So, your night routine, your night habits, your night patterns, right? And then at least have 7, 8 hours of sleep, uninterrupted good sleep. So, if you had a healthy dinner, a lean, clean dinner, and you had an early dinner and you just drank water after it, and maybe you supplement with magnesium, you have to consult your doctor because everything interacts different in every human, right?
Mhm.
And maybe you can listen to soft music, a calming meditation. Are not comparing, complaining, and criticizing before you go to bed. You're not you're not social media scrolling, or you're not listening to the news. I mean, imagine going to sleep with the news. That's what's going into your subconscious, and that's when you're most vulnerable. So, having sleep hygiene is number one for anything you do. Remember, get up in the morning and have the power of getting up. We have talked about the cortisol peak. That's why you might wake up anxious or a little bit shaky. So, how do you contrarrest that? Sit on your bed and say, thank you, I'm grateful. Get up, drink water, look at yourself in the mirror instead of saying, I look horrible, say thank you, I love you to the person in the mirror, because that's the person that makes it happen with you, right? And then move your body. Go out for a walk. Go down for a swim. Do yoga exercises. There's so many things that you can do. And then take a shower, get ready, make your bed. That's important. Get organized. If you can afford it, have help around the house. But that what I just told you is a power of discipline in the very hours in the very early hours in the morning that can change your day dramatically. And when I say dramatically, it's dramatically.
It is very important to highlight something. It's not get help to do less. It's get help to do what you have to do. Where you're meant to be, it lives there. And because a lot of people get this help, hacks or things to improve just to become lazy. AI is doing that to our society today, right? I mean, and the ones that know how to use AI properly, they don't use it to do less. They use it to think more, to develop more, to do more, right? True power is not, to me, is not shown by what you can do. It's shown by what you choose not to do. Is what you're really powerful. When you really apply that power with that discipline that you're referring to, with that sleep hygiene, with the choosing not to eat late, the choosing to get help because I need to do more and I need to go and move my body, right? And allow that power, that pain to transform you in the new version of you, the new you. The transformation is not, you said it was not rebuilding, it was building a new person, right?
Exactly.
And using that power. I think today we we got a lot of good things in for our audience. Uh, I want you to help me to close this episode with something that is sustainable, that it doesn't fill up the ego, that will reinforce patience and it will keep us humble, and more importantly, will get us closer to that version of yourself. Help me to tell them today how to make the right decisions and how to become more in tune with your emotional intelligence can help people to stop feeling a failure or chasing what's not to chase.
Let's keep it simple. Be grateful. Like, honestly, keep it simple. Be grateful. The power of gratefulness, the power of words is everything. Everything. So when you wake up in the morning, be grateful. Before you start working, be grateful. In one of my alarms on my phone, my my main alarm says start my beloved coaching. The moment that I label it beloved, it's because I adore it. It's something that's important to me. If I put that alarm, ugh, start to work, right? That would be the thing. So, the power of simple words. Let's keep it simple. Let's go deep, not wide. Be grateful. Be grateful. Be grateful. Be grateful, but from the heart. Before
A
you
grateful
say
heart.
grateful heart, before you say, oh, jeez, I have to take care of myself and do my hair today. Be grateful that you have hair in the first place, right? Be grateful that you have a job. Be grateful that you have a bed. It that doesn't mean that you have to be mediocre and settle and say, yeah, everybody has a bed. No, not everybody has a bed. But maybe not everybody has an 8 mattress with 3,000 cotton count cheats, maybe you do, be grateful. And I know I'm crazy. This morning I was reading something from this guy Manson that said that one of the words that causes the most damage in relationships and in self help is I deserve. Because sometimes deserve can be thrown as arrogance,
An entitlement.
entitlement. So, this is what I want, this is what I am grateful for, right?
Well, my friends, if this episode challenged you, good. Sit with that, think about it, because it's not about the painful growth or fear or power of discipline. It is about prepare yourself for the right kind of power that is going to lead us to develop that discipline, or through the discipline and use the power to develop that identity that we're going to talk in our next episodes. And you can only change your life if you test your soul and you are brave enough to make those right decisions.
I
Because the
agree.
people that carry that power well are not always the most talented, they're often the most disciplined. With that, we
Exactly.
close today. Sandra, all
Thank
you, thank you
you.
so much once again. Super
See you
grateful for
next
the time that
time,
we
and
spent
let's talk
today.
about sleep hygiene next time.
Let's do it. Thank you.
Okay. Bye.